Boys and girls, welcome back to StationDRG. We are in the drag room today. We're prepping for taping tomorrow, so probably something here I'm going to have on because I really don't know what I'm doing yet. I think I'm going to do this actually, which is a head wrap that I showed you guys how to do before, but this. I made a little pineapple. It's my little loaf. It's not very secure. It will work for the show, but this is actually the top off my big updos. I put some hair rats in it and stuffed it, and it's going to be really good. I'm going to do it up in this kind of thing, I think. I have so many wigs going on right now because I'm behind in orders. I am not going to do custom orders. I cannot do it. I cannot stay ahead of it. Mommy's got way too much going on. Well, I'm going to get this guy cut up because I need to finish my structure of this updo. Just adding some pieces on the side. This is only my first teasing through. Oh, I know what I'll show you guys. I came up with something the other day to help me get a little more height in my updos. This guy doesn't have any teasing in it. I forgot about that. Or any short hairs. It doesn't have any short hairs in it. I think this is why I don't like doing the in the drag room things, because I'm not used to talking while I'm working. I get in here, I zone right out. It's like my meditation. I'm very excited about tomorrow. We have a new mic system. Upgrading. We're almost at 8,400 subscribers. Like I said, down the corner, do it. You probably noticed that with my updo, I have it very sectioned out. Like I have it in zones. And I always tell everybody, it amazes me how many of y'all come to this house and play with wigs, and you take this big messy thing and try to make something out of it. And I'm like, please girls, let's just separate this out, please. It'll work much better. Cut everything out. Figure out what you want to do with the wig first. Draw it on paper. Figure out your sectioning. I probably have told you guys this all before, but Mommy's a little baked right now. Okay, this wig is going to be gorgeous. I really want to keep this one. Jake won't let me. Maybe I'll do it ugly, and then no one will buy it, and I'll get to keep it. This is for hair wraps. You should always keep your messed up wigs, because you can make hair rats of them, which is basically you take a hunk of the wig and you tease the fuck out of it into a big ball, and you can push it in things and pin it in place, and it helps you give you support. There, that's your tip of the day. So I think you guys can pretty much, it's safe to assume that these are not going to be the tutorials that I used to do on Dragology, because that's when I used to talk like the Micro Machines man, and everything was like a commercial. I couldn't deal. So this is much more real, and there are more than enough tutorial places out there. I'm all about online kind right now. Love that guy. He's very smart. Get up there. See, this is most wigs that are really good for teasing have like, you can look through them and you can see there's all these short hairs in there. Those are the wigs that tease. This is not a good wig. So that was our first teasing. I started this about a week ago. I'm bad for that. This one I'm currently working on for a person in Calgary. It's Alberta Bound, who I just messaged and said, the wig's a little thick. I think it's going to be bigger than what it normally would be, and I'm sure you're okay with that. She was completely fine. So this, the top, we know that this is going to be our height. This is going to be all the big stuff. The base underneath it, this is the important part. Spend your most time on this and make it secure. Everything else on top of it is just going to be window dressing. But you do not want this hair to be too long. If this is way too long, when you're trying to put it in place, it's going to be more likely to fall out. Okay? So feel free to tease this and build it till it's up like there. Because the stuff on top will always come down over it. This is always going to cover it. It'll be more cohesive. I don't know if that's the right word to use for that situation. And I'm burping up bean salad. Good grasp on the hair so you don't pull anything out from the roots. Remember that the ends is the important part. It always amazes me. I go in, I've done wigs for girls like around here, and then I go into their drag room and there's a wig and I'm like, I did that for you 5 years ago, and they're still wearing it. I'm like Oprah with my hair. I can't wear it any more than 3 times, otherwise I just can't. And then I usually give it to Rouge, or she steals it, and then she wears it to death, and I get it back in shambles. So now, we're going to start to connect this together on another level, because it was teased in sections. Now we're going to go back and kind of double up those sections and make them fit together. Our end goal is to get a stack of hair, that it's straight up. These 3 sections right here in the front, this should tease together fairly efficiently. Now I'm going to give you guys a secret. You guys have seen me use the bag stapler lots. I love using a bag stapler. I prefer using brushes like this. So the goal is connecting those pieces together. Again, I'm sorry if I talk fast or whatever. The whole point of this show for me was literally just to turn the camera on and go. So please don't get mad at me if you can't exactly see. If there's something you want to know, leave it in the comments. And I will be glad to explain it out fully. But I don't know what you guys all need, and Jake gets mad at me all the time. He's like, he tries to help me with wigs, and he's like, I don't understand. I'm like, how can you not understand? He's like, I'm not in your head. So, same thing. Tip. This is a dog comb. It is a wicked, wig comb. And it's metal, so you ain't gonna break it. Start to try to work that teasing down to the base. You want this to be solid. Like this should stand up on its own as one cohesive piece. So this is not really, probably because it doesn't have a lot of great teasing, like it doesn't have all those little short hairs in it. So it's gonna be hard for me to tease and build some actual height with. So I'm going to be a little aggressive. Now I think I've shown you guys this before. When I really want to build things big, I'll go tease, 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 and I pull the hair away. I don't know if it's actually going to work, but that's when, yeah, it is. Like, because we need hair on the top, so you don't want to tease the whole thing and make a mess. We want to get as much of that hair out so that you can style it pretty, but still giving all the structure that you need. And now, see, this is pretty perfect. You've got a nice amount of hair on the top, the shape. Try to get that teasing down so it's at like one solid level. And it'd be more stable that way. Now, if you are having support problems, and which you sometimes will, especially where the hair had gone together, take your bag stapler, get in there, and put some staples in. Somewhere somebody just passed out. Bitches are like, get my ass to Staples. Now, you'll see those staples, but if you take a little lifter comb, get in around them, and just push them around, and then they'll bury in a mass of teasing and actually be more stable. Now, we're going to do this with the rest, okay? I think there's 5 or 6 sections here. Again, try to get them together. You can do it in smaller parts, actually. You can take up this, work it, and staple it in with this. That's the whole goal. We want to build one big mound of everything. This looks like the next best area. And I always try to tell people that, like, work in zones, it's much easier for you to keep track of things and build the structure and support in that zone that it needs for what your end result is. Draw these out. You know, get a head croquis. I use them all the time, but I use them for makeup. See, take one of these. You can print these offline, and it's just a face, you know. But you can get them in smaller ones too. I had them around here somewhere, but it's like a head form. Sit on that and draw your lines. I know I want it to go like this. I know I want it to move here, and it will help you in your mind visualize how things should be laid out, and then you can start to put it together structurally that it's really supportive, and your updos and your styles will last much longer. I know that I need all this like this. I know that I need this piece to come up and connect on this, and it just makes it a lot simpler. See, it's coming apart there. This is where we're going to go with the bag stapler. If you're even more worried, go inside. Take the pieces inside. It doesn't matter how messed up it is, right? Because you're going to be covering it over anyway. You want this to be stable, and that's the most important thing. I've said this before. I said it on the show. Girls out there, you should have one of these in your drag bag. I have solved so many problems backstage with a bag stapler. Yeah, this is going to be massive. Because I know I want the updo to go that. That's one thing I like about drag hair now anyway. You can do anything. Like, there are no rules. Like, I mean, as a hairstylist, it's not like I can think of those things in the salon and people say, oh yeah, sure, let's do that. In drag, there's no limits. I can do whatever I want. Just go with it. Now, I gotta think about this. The front here is actually pretty thick. This is just the lace. This is how I section it out. Because this is the stuff you want to be really smooth in the front. You don't want to see all this back combing. So this is like your window dressing. This covers everything all over. Keep this out really nice. I have a feeling this front is gonna have to be very sculpted because there's no little hairs in this at all. And I really don't want to have to go in. Normally I would go in with the texturizing shears, or, you know, go and put some texture in there, but I don't want to with this one. I know I want it to go smoother on the side here, so my back combing that's here, I'm going to take this out further. Like, this is where I'm going to start the shape, get a feel for where I actually want it to go. Okay. Get this part here fairly smooth because there's only so much hair here to cover, so take your time to work at it and make sure it looks halfway decent before you start to try to cover it up. When I staple, I try to crisscross them, just because locks in better. Go back over those staples and really make sure that they're locked in place. Treat it right. This wig can easily last a couple of years. Now, that's not wearing it out every night too. Like, when you pay that much for a wig, you come home, you put it gently on a head, okay? You make sure everything's all clipped up in place, and it goes on a shelf, and nobody touches it. Make sure this isn't coming too far forward, because if you think about where the hair is going to be coming up here, this has to finish that. If this is too far forward, your hair is going to go up there. So you don't want it too far back, but be aware is all I'm saying. You know, sit and look at it. Figure out how it's going to lay on your face. You know, imagine yourself in it and where you want things to go. And when in doubt, take your time. Like, I'm done this for now. I'm probably not going to touch it for another couple days. So you won't get to see the finished product today, but it'll be coming up. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. I'm going to really try to do these guys. I really like doing them. I just never seem to get the time. Make sure you subscribe to StationDRG and tune in on Tuesdays for Queen's Ranting.